Kayak Fishing Obsessed Podcast. We'll be sitting down with a fresh guest each week. Someone who shares the same kayak fishing passion that runs through our veins. We're talking kayak anglers, kayak companies, lure experts. Heck, anyone who's got a story to tell about landing the big ones from a kayak. We're setting our sights on becoming the #1 kayak fishing podcast in the world. You'll get a chuckle, a grin, and hey, maybe even a belly laugh. Because we believe in the power of humor. But above all, we're here to educate and inspire. So, whether you're a seasoned kayak angler or just dipping your toes into this exhilarating world, join us on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed Podcast. It's time to reel in adventure, camaraderie, and the joy of the catch. Here's your host, Darren Windle.
Oh, what's up, you fish freaks? Welcome to episode number 111 of the Kayak Fishing Obsessed Podcast, your ultimate source for all things kayak fishing. We got Greg Blanchard, the reclusive. I don't think that's a word. He's a recluse. You know how many people, Seth, that reached out to me and were like, "Hey, you got Greg Blanchard to come in your podcast?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, how'd you do that? So I guess he doesn't go on too many. We'll ask him about that in just a minute. But first, a shout out to our show sponsor, darkhorsetackle.com. If you're looking for insanely good under the radar baits from elite small batch bait makers, you got to head over to darkhorsetackle.com. Check out this beast that I'll be throwing tomorrow. Oh, it took it on the wire. There we go. Look at that little walking bait, beetle color, painted by the, what is it? Righteous Tackle. And so BKK hooks. I'm looking forward to throwing that. Right now I have a Heaton, I don't know how you say it, one knocker on, but I'm going out. It's September, baby. It's time to draw them up from the deep, Seth. So special thanks to, I had a channel member this past week. Thank you, John Z. For those you don't know about, actually, I keep saying 3 months. 5 months ago, I quit my job, started doing this full time. So every person who signs up to be a channel member, support the channel monthly, I am greatly appreciative. Seth,
5
Duck
months.
Watch 2025. It was 5 months ago.
Well, the ducks are happily swimming with their farm friends.
Oh, so it's over. Duck Watch 2025 is over.
All of them. It's officially over. They're all happily ponding it up on a farm.
I love it. Greg's in the green room like, what the crap you guys talking about? Yeah. Greg, Seth murdered 3 ducks earlier in the season because he had 8 mallards and then he killed 3. And so that's what's happening. All right, folks. Yeah.
Let's do it.
The moment we've been waiting for. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
What's up, guys? Hey, thanks for having me on. I am a recluse as far as the podcast world, but I told you before the show, like right before this, like I am the worst person with messenger messages. Like even my friends, I'll forget to respond for like days on end. They'll think I'm dead. So I blame it on that. So that's the reason.
There you go. So for all his friends listening right now, just to let you know, he's not responding to you, but he's responding to me.
He saw the message.
Yeah. Wait, do I have read receipts on? I hope not.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll just forget about it and then I'll see it another day. Like, oh, yeah, shoot, I got to respond to that. But I'm here. That's all that counts.
Well, welcome, man. We got a lot of people who are excited to listen to what you have to say. The theme of the night is cracking the code, catching bass in September, and we are spreading the gamut here. I'm in Ohio. Greg's in Northern California, I believe.
Oh man,
Seth is down in God's waiting room down in Florida, and so this is going to be a little bit of everything to everyone. You just kind of like gravitate toward the person and ask questions with the person that you want to ask questions. So those of you who are live, this is a live show. I have no problem going down the deep, dark rabbit hole, whatever question you want answered from Greg. So throw that in the comments. And let's get this party started. Greg, for those of you who might not know you yet, which is kind of hard to believe, they must live under the YouTube rock. How did you get into fishing and eventually kayak fishing? Because I have to say, I watched your video today. You've been doing it for 12 years. You gave your life story in a matter of 20 minutes, which was a whole heck of a lot of fun to listen to. So walk us through for those of you who didn't watch that video.
Yeah, man, that was a different kind of video. I've never done something like that. This background is new. I'll be honest, I set it up just for that video because I knew I was going to do the video. My buddy Alden actually told me a few months ago, he's like, dude, are you like coming up on 1,000 videos? Like you should do something cool for that. So got to shout out my buddy Aldi for pointing it out. But I planned it. I planned to do kind of just like a storyline of everything that's gone on through every single year, all 12 years. And I needed a better backdrop. This room was a mess. So I guess I can do podcasts now because I have a cool studio thing like you guys, right? Like that's what you guys have.
You guys. I don't know what you're talking about, Greg. This is just boxes.
No, that's still good. It's better than a white wall that was behind me basically before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that video, kind of told the story of how I got into kayak fishing. It was really more the story of YouTube. So I began fishing when I was younger, probably like a lot of folks out there. Bank fishing, grandpa mainly. Really the big thing was in college. I had my family would rent a cottage on Canisius Lake, which is in the Finger Lakes. I'm originally from central New York, and we rent a cottage every summer. And that cottage, I'd get to rent like a little John boat, a little 25-horse John boat.
Okay.
And it's kind of my one time a year to get off the bank because I was going to the same bank spot like literally 3, 4, 5 times a day in the summer. Insanity now that I think about it. But it produced fish. It wasn't like I was skunking. So that was what I was doing. But this opportunity every summer to get off the bank and go out on the lake with a boat was great. So one of the last summers there, I had to return the boat like a day or two early before we left the cottage. And I still wanted to fish and noticed there were some kayaks underneath the cottage. I've told this story before, probably many years ago. But I decided to take those kayaks out. They're just like little sit-in kayaks. Take them out. Just had a spinning rod with a wacky worm, I think. And I pretty much just bobbed and weaved throughout the docks nearby. And I caught more fish that evening than I caught all week in the John boat. And just to be straightforward with you, I was quite bad at fishing at that time. Like I was taking this John boat out in the middle of the lake and just throwing a spinnerbait. Kind of like I had no idea what I was doing. I'd pick up a fish here and there, but it was just like, whatever. But the point being is that little kayak got me into those places that were hard to reach in, between the docks. And that just kind of got my mind thinking there's got to be like fishing kayaks or like bigger kayaks. And I think it was the following year, my mom actually got me that little green Lifetime Manta kayak off of Amazon, which is the first part of the video from the other day, the 1,000th video upload 12 years on YouTube. And that's kind of where the kayak journey began, all because of that cottage and just seeing or experiencing what a kayak can do. And, back then, this was 2012, 2013. Dude, I know that, OGs like Chad and a lot of those guys were doing the kayak fishing thing. But, man, in upstate New York, like you brought a kayak out on the water with a fishing pole, you'd get some looks. Like people are like, what are you doing? This is crazy. You got a kayak and you're fishing out of it. But obviously times have changed now and it's quite common. So yeah, that's really how I got into it. And 12 years later, I'm here on the Wendell podcast.
There we go. It's always fun to me because still there's individuals who've never seen a fishing kayak before. Like I was getting off Lake Erie last week and this guy just could not keep his eyes off my kayak and he couldn't stop talking and ask me questions. How much is this? What's this? What is this? Where can I get this? I didn't realize I made like a pedal kayak. You got a motor on your pedal? What? His mind exploded in front of my eyes. And it's just so much fun. So if you haven't done so, head over to Greg's YouTube channel, Greg Blanchard, and check out that 12 years video. It's doing really well. I think it had like 25,000 views in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly how that would do. Because, as a YouTuber, the YouTube game, consistency is key. And my content is mainly just me fishing selfishly. It's not really educational like yours or, how-tos. It's just me spending a day out on the water and fishing. And that's really what, that's my content. So the video the other day, the 1,000th video, totally changed the direction, change of pace. So I was like, all right, this is either going to do good or this is going to flop. And I was like, whatever. It's, sometimes you got to do a video for yourself a little bit. And I thought, or not for yourself, but for yourself and for your community, your loyal audience, the guys, the girls, whoever, who's been with you for a while. And I felt like it was just like an appropriate time to do the kind of video like that. So it didn't matter how it did. I wanted to still do it, but yeah. I was curious to see how it would do.
It's like, I imagine it was fun doing the Chronicle, because I'm sure you pulled all that B footage from your YouTube videos from the years past. And so I'm sure that was a blast being like, oh, wow, I forgot about that. Oh, wow, I forgot about that.
It was fun. It was a lot of work. I mean, I've got every single video, all 1,000 of them on hard drives.
Right. Oh, you still do. So you didn't have to rip from you were ripping from the hard file.
I did from YouTube a little bit just to make it easy. Cause some of them were kind of like, it's kind of a hot mess in some of those hard drives back in like 14, 15. So in YouTube, when you go to your studio, you can lay them out like by the oldest to newest. So it was like a timeline to follow. But I remembered a lot of stuff. I guess if you spend a lot of time editing your own videos, you kind of just like, it's in your brain. Like,
because you watch it 4 or 5 times through the edit. So it's like burnt. That makes sense.
Yeah. So you used to like study it. So you kind of, or at least I can kind of remember pretty much everything, all the videos, all the content. I mean, it was definitely a deep dive, but it was fun. It was fun to make.
Well, it was fun until you got to the end, and I picked up on something, and you said it. I'm not quite sure what you meant by it, and I'm sure you might have got some questions about it. You alluded that you're not quite sure if YouTube is going to be the thing for you in the future. And you're just like, I don't know if it's not. And so it sounds like you've had some internal conversations with yourself. Was there anything there, or did I read into it?
No, there's nothing there. I mean, it's the truth. It is the truth, because you never know with life, with YouTube. I mean, I don't think this is going to happen, but if YouTube shuts down tomorrow, there's no more YouTube. But, I don't have, there was nothing to read into it. I don't see myself quitting anytime soon. I still enjoy it. I still love it.
All right.
But I mean, I don't know. It's like, and the only reason I said that and I'm bringing it up now is because, I mean, dude, 12 years is a long time to do YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I try to think of people that were around 12 years ago that are still doing it. Like
short list.
It's not many. So I don't know if my time will be up soon, or, the biggest thing is I love it. I still love it. The editing kind of sucks sometimes, or, depending, just because it takes away from fishing. I'd rather be fishing.
Yeah, 100%. It was beautiful out today, and I was sitting on the computer all day long, editing and doing business. Business side.
Yeah. And there are moments where I do enjoy editing. Like I've tried to improve at my editing skills and just like the content over the years. And a lot of nowadays with like a group of guys that are kind of like staples on the channel, my close fishing friends, and we do trips. A lot of that stuff it means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to them, because it's kind of like our, it's a diary or memory bank, a digital, photo video album that we can look back on whenever. And it's cool to make content that is reflected. Like when we did a trip to San Diego, charter trip to San Diego this past June for our buddy Mike's birthday. And I had cameras on the entire time. I'm kind of a freak with my friends. I have cameras on all the time just because I don't want to miss something.
Put this on now.
Yeah. But that trip, I mean, it was a monster to edit and it was a grinder, but I really enjoyed the final product, even though like it didn't have like bass fishing, and it wasn't even like we caught fish the whole time. It was just kind of cool to recreate that experience in a video. So it's kind of like that stuff that I really like editing now. But yeah, I mean, it's just part of the game too. You got to edit. You got to fish. You got to edit.
You got to fish. Got to edit. It's usually 1 day fishing equals 1 day and a day and a half editing.
Absolutely.
All right, I got some comments and all kinds of people over here. So we got Low Life Angler. Hey, thank you, Greg, for your 2025 Native Propel LTE videos. He bought one and he loves his. So solid.
Great kayak. Yep.
I have a question. Okay, go ahead.
No, Seth, you're the co-host. You get to interrupt those live. Yeah.
I take priority over you. Over here, so someone said I edit through CapCut a lot. I'll use, different things people are editing. What software do you use, and how do you expedite? I know that's not what this podcast is about necessarily, but how do you expedite your editing for your videos, like when you're out there fishing, so that you can, get them done and be efficient with your editing, I guess.
Yeah. So I use Final Cut. I used to use iMovie for a long time. I used Final Cut Final Cut for the last 4 or 5 years. Man, I wish it was a quicker way to do the editing, but first off, I've thought, and this is maybe the obvious answer to the editing problem, is hiring someone to edit for me, which I've had offers. I'm actually even looking into it a little bit, but here's the problem. A fishing day is anywhere from 6 to 10 hours long.
Yeah.
I know exactly what happens every second of that day, and I know exactly what I want in the video. There's no way I'm going to have someone watch an entire 8 to 10 hours of footage and then just guess what I want to be in there. It's just impossible to do. And I'm sure they could do it, but it's selfishly not what I want. So that's kind of out the window for right now. I may have just some help on some projects maybe next year. But it's like Darren said, it's a day of fishing equals a day of editing. So I fish, I go out fish for a day, I get home, I import all the footage to Final Cut. It takes a minute actually, because I'm usually running 3 cameras, 2 of which are pretty much on the whole time. So I'm dealing with 500 gigs of footage at least, plus the iPhone footage, plus the drone stuff. And then, I usually don't touch it that night, but I'll wake up the next morning, I'll get up early and I'll try to edit it, bang it out, do whatever I have to do that day. But there's really no quick answer for me. It's a day of editing equals a day of fishing. And then, for example, when we have a tournament weekend, we just had a tournament at Clear Lake last week. I spent, Wednesday through Sunday there. So 2 days of practice, 3 days of tournaments. I came home and filled up a 4 terabyte hard drive with all the raw footage. So, and that's actually why I've been busy and wearing these blue light glasses right now, because the last 6 days I've been spending 10 hours in front of the computer editing.
Bro, that's brutal.
Oh yeah. But you know what? It's okay. It's part of the gig. It's
we got the same ones.
Hey, there we go.
I like you guys. Nerds over here. I love it.
Do you have a process for how you edit, is to make it the way you do your videos? Is there a B-roll? Is there when you go through it, is there a process you always hit or is it just different with every video? I don't know if I explained that correctly, but
no, I know what you're saying. There's kind of a general format or guideline I follow. I always like to do, it's you got your 3 parts. You got kind of the intro, just saying what's going to happen today, what the plan is. Then you got the meat of the video. That's all the fishing, all the action, so to speak, or lack thereof sometimes. And then you got the ending. You got the outro, your recap, what happened. That's kind of my general format. Tournaments, special occasion trips. Obviously, I'll deviate a little bit from that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I go with. As far as equipment too, I'm still basic. I've got, some GoPros. I've got my phone. So I'm still using my phone for, B-roll, stuff like that. I've got a drone. And I try to, overlay a lot of, shots of nature out there, or anything that might be applicable to what I'm seeing or what I'm talking about. One thing I always do, and maybe this doesn't matter to a lot of people, but in this day and age, we're kind of in a short form content world. People, including myself, we like short form content. We like shorts. It's quick. It's easy. So with long form content like YouTube, you kind of got to have that same mentality. And what I'll do is I'll review my video once I think it's done. I'll review it and I'll find spaces or gaps in there where I would think as someone who's watching it, I might click off. It gets a little too long here. You're fighting that fish. You got a 5-pounder on a spinning rod. It's taking you 2 minutes to reel it in. Let's get to the point right here. So maybe just a tip for those creators out there who are doing YouTube videos that maybe want to, grow your audience, your retention, your channel. Try to review your video and find out where exactly you might click off because it got a little stale, got a little, I don't want to say boring, but you know what I mean. So
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the basic format though, and what I look for in the content. But again, I do enjoy mixing it up with trips like the charter trip I mentioned. A couple years ago, not this past iCast. I didn't film this iCast. I think Darren, you saw me. I wasn't doing any filming at all, but a few years ago, my first iCast in Florida, I did like a full vlog video on that whole deal.
I remember that you did like the plane. You actually did like I woke up with the alarm clock vlog type thing.
Yeah. You gotta love setting up cameras and walking back and all that fun stuff. I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's art. That's not art, but it's like you're creating something that you want it to be watchable, not just for yourself, but for your community. So that video in particular, that was something different as well. So yeah, general format, general guidelines for video is intro, fishing, outro. But I'm always up for change too. I try to adapt if I can and create 100%. Stuff that's enjoyable.
Let's head over here to those who are making some comments. I start some. SoCal Fishman said, already watched it. Sort of feels like I've watched him forever. Recognized a lot of the shots along the way. From Southwest Indiana Outdoors, Greg is a king of pulling old footage for his videos. He does shout outs to videos from years ago. Love it. Here's a question from Steven Sturgeon. Have you considered doing live fishing to keep from having to edit so much?
Oh, good question. I'm going to be so if you go to YouTube, my channel, I actually don't have any lives on my channel. I did have 2 lives. I think one was with my buddies, Obedy and Mike. We were at a campground one time. Did a live at that time. I think we did one at Headwaters Kayak. These were a long time ago. So I don't have any lives. I made them private. It's some weird thing. I try to be super consistent with content and channel. Like I don't have any shorts on my channel. Don't have any lives right now. It's just long form, straight up videos.
Oh, wow.
But that's a good question because I think that is going to be something of the future. I don't know how near in the future, like next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5. I think live fishing, with the technology we have, with the phones, the GoPros, the Insta360s, all that stuff, I think it'll be very easy to go live. And I think tournaments especially, we'll see a lot more of that. Yeah. I don't know. Right now the technology for me, I don't understand it enough or have the confidence in it enough to do it. I think it would be cool though to do a tournament someday live where I obviously have good reception if I need it, cameras that won't fail. Something like that.
You almost got to run Starlink off your kayak in order.
Yeah. That's
or just be on a lake that has solid signal. That's not always the case.
Yeah, I don't even. I don't know. Something probably not for me anytime soon, but I do think that it's something. It'll be something in the fishing space in the near future.
Yeah, I love it. Seth, I don't know if I haven't talked to you this week. This should be. I didn't tell you this, but I started another channel. It's the first time I've ever talked about it.
Well,
Kayak Fishing Uncut. So it has to do with this. It has to do with this conversation. So I have a bunch of fishing videos that my channel really has been like a tutorial channel, which I love it for that. So whenever I post like fishing videos, you get like 1,000, 2,000 views. It's not awesome. So I was like, you know what? I know there's an appetite for longer form videos, like uncut videos of people fishing and live, what we're talking about now. So I created Kayak Fishing Uncut. So if you guys are interested or love that type of thing, go to kayakfishinguncut.com. It'll take you to that very, very new page. I got one video up, just started it this past week. But Greg, like you said, there's an appetite for it. I think it's going to be the future, but I don't want to screw up my channel, my Wendell Fishing channel. And so that's where all that will sit for those of you who are like, hey, people tell me all the time when I do them, oh, I love these. I love your long form. Can you do more of them? I was like, well, there's a small group of people who love them, but that's not the majority of the people on Wendell Fishing who do. And so I wanted to create something because I was getting enough of those comments. So head over there if you love that, Kayak Fishing Uncut. And I'll be throwing up 2, 3, 5, 7 hour long videos. If you're like, hey, I know Darren shows me how to use the bait, but I want to see him fail and fall out of his kayak and lose his rods and get the backlashes and all that stuff as well. There's so much to learn watching people just do the casting, right? And fail. No, 100%. It's like, okay, Darren, I know you keep posting of you catching the fish. I want to see the process of you catching the fish, the hour that you didn't catch it and what's going through your mind and how you're breaking down water and why you're changing out baits. I think there's an appetite for that, and there's not a lot of people doing that.
Have you guys seen Chris Saldane's live streams on Bassmaster?
Oh, went crazy at the Bassmaster. Like how many we're watching total?
A lot, but
it's like 150,000 people.
Yeah, whatever he's got going, his system is because he even has like a camera on like his graph, like when he's scoping them or whatever. Like, and then he can switch from his chesty to his rear camera. He's got whatever he's got going on is dialed.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Is Al dangerous?
Yeah, is Al dangerous? He's got something. He's got it down because I think he's done it like for almost every. I think he's done it for almost every tournament day he's had this year for the elites. A lot of them, and I mean you look at the time on it. It's like 8 hours. Like it's legit the entire time he's fishing.
Yeah,
so
awesome. Freaking love it. Yeah, I love it. Hey, we have 68 live right now. If you're listening in live, you're on YouTube. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, help you get a little extra yardage out of this. Post a video. If you're not on YouTube, you're probably not seeing all the conversations that are taking place where the majority of the people are. So head on over to Wendell Fishing, hit that live. There's now 70 live right now. All right, let's go tactical. We're going to talk about your fishing rig, and then we're going to talk about catching bass in September. So, Greg, walk us through your rig. What are you running? What's your favorite thing about it? Maybe share maybe if you had a recent upgrade or if you're thinking about moving over to the hammer. Come on now. That thing was sick. I want to get in one of those.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So probably, I mean, if you guys watch me, you know I'm a native guy. I love their boats, their kayaks. Right now, primarily fishing out of either the Titan X 10.5 or the 12.5. I've been favoring the 12.5 a little bit more lately because I've got a nice Fish Texas trailer with it. I can keep it just about fully rigged, just hook it up to the truck, drive off with it, dump it in the water, easy peasy. But it's kind of rigged out to the max, you could say. I've got the NK 300 on the back for the motor, couple 36 volt 30s power in that guy.
Yeah.
Got a 1240 in the front for my graphs. I was using 2 graphs like with the captain's bridge, but I've gone down to 1 just because lately I've been fishing so shallow, Delta, Clear Lake. I don't need 360, Mega 360. It's on the boat, but I just don't need it right now. So just 1 graph right now on the captain's bridge. I mean, I've got a customized trunk in the back. It's like basically a giant black pack. It's got 14 rod holders.
14. That is customized.
Yeah, a couple of them are on Gear Tracks, but yeah, that was the most rods I ever brought to
14
a fishing tournament ever. Yeah, 14.
How many you've actually touched during the tournament?
During the tournament, only like 5, but during practice, all 14.
Oh, really? You're ripping through them?
Yeah, I'll fish them. I mean, but that's like the point. Like, I think a lot of people understand this, but for those who don't, that say, that's way too many rods, man, I just think about efficiency. And if you want to be efficient and you want to try a bait, I mean, I don't want to spend the time retying something, find it in my box, the trailers, nonsense. Just get the rod, throw it. I may make 1 cast with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it ain't happening, then I'll just hang it back up.
Yeah, you feel good about it, though, at least. Oh, I gave it a shot. Didn't work. All right, play away. We tried.
You don't know until you try. And 14, though, is pretty excessive. Usually it's 10 to 12 I'll have on there. But tournament day, 4 to 5, which is good. That's what you want for practice in a tournament. You want to be dialed. You don't want to be mixing and matching and guessing what they're going to be eating on tournament day when it counts. So pretty much throwing a slobber knocker, so a bladed jig and punching and a little frogging for Clear Lake. But anyways, Titan X 12.5 still. That's pretty much everything I got on it. I've got Yak Attack accessories. Got the double header for the paddle in case you need it. I do have like a little drawer underneath my seat for miscellaneous items. But that is pretty much it for the rig. What was your other question? My fishing for September?
No, we'll get there. I was we were going to talk about. I'm getting some comments over here. I was actually asking about the hammer.
Yes.
Real quick, there's a question. Let me bring this comment up. Oh my gosh, there's like 1,000 comments. PRRRKRR Perker. I'm definitely upgrading to a hammer or a flux jet next year. I I got thoughts on the Flux Jet. One, it's just no one's ever seen one or been in one. And I keep having people telling me they're dropping $3K on a kayak that no one's ever tested before. I get a lot of people are like, hey, I'm in the Flux Jet. I don't know. I got a lot of questions. I'm gonna need some people in that thing that I trust giving their feedback on it before I'm dropping $3K on the kayak and then another 1,000 plus on the motor. And I don't think it's likely not going to go as fast as you think it's going to go. If you start doing the math on motor capacity and batteries and so forth and so on. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still giving it a chance. I'm not against it. I want to see a new kayak company succeed. However, I got some questions. Even I'm friends with the guy, knows the guy. I know the guys over there. I think they might even send me one, full disclosure. I'd love to get that out there and test it myself and put it through its paces, but we'll see what happens. But that aside, Native's been around for a long time. And so when they come out with a new kayak, I'm not like, I'm not quite sure. Kind of new company, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, they're just upgrading and constantly refining an already excellent product. And when I saw that hammer, as someone who loves pedal drives and could easily throw a stern mounted motor, it's got a Torqeedo travel ultralight. I'm like, ooh, in the spring, it's going to be really difficult for me not to get in one of those. So is that on your horizon?
Definitely. Yeah. I think probably this fall. Yeah. We just spill the beans right now. I mean, I got to make some room in my garage. I don't think I've shown my garage in a few videos, but it's because it's like a hoarder lives in there and of kayaks and fishing gear. It's a mess. But this fall I plan on picking one up and rigging it up and testing her out, making some content. It looks sweet at ICAST. That was my first time seeing it too. You're right though. I mean, Native's been around forever. They've got their R&D team they're really good. They're a lot smarter than me. So they do an awesome job with, redesigning things. A lot of it's customer feedback too. I think they actually, I'm sure a lot of companies do this, but they definitely listen to their pro staff, their customer feedback, and what could be better. Just like little things on the kayaks now. Of course, they've got that new drive that folds up. That's pretty cool.
This is why I love that, because as someone who runs a Torqeedo, you could put foot steering in that if you wanted to, because you can get that now up and out of the way. So before on any pedal drive, you're just shoving your foot steering right into your pedals. If you can have that fold forward, right? I can even see foot pedals that kind of fold up and then fold down to get out of the way. And there's all kinds of options here. Stuff that's probably not even made yet. If you had foot pegs that kind of, once you put your pedal drive up, they went down and then you can push. Oh my gosh. Anyways, we're talking about things that don't exist. But anyway, keep going. Sorry.
No, that's a good idea, actually. And you know what? Maybe if they listen, they'll do that for the next drive. You never know. But
who knows?
They've got. It's just well thought out. It's like the little details, even like the front, like the handles, the built-in grab handles. For those of you guys that are going to put like a bow mount motor on there. Before it was kind of awkward. You didn't have anywhere to grab it, but they've kind of built these recessed handles into the kayak, into the mold, so you actually have a place to grab your kayak and put it on the trailer, wherever. I love the new storage behind the seat, like that internal storage hatch. Let's just face it, we're getting bigger and bolder with kayaks nowadays, bigger batteries. So that big space is really key. I think I'll enjoy that. I'll throw a bigger battery in there for sure.
You talk about under the seat.
Yeah, the one behind it, kind of like behind it, inside the kayak in that hatch.
Yeah, you have to take the seat off in order to get to it, type of thing.
Yeah, you got to move the seat forward a hair, and then you can unlatch it and lift her up. And it's just kind of got a big, it's kind of like a square space. I think it's actually meant to fit one of those low-profile batteries from Newport. Okay. But it'll fit, it'll fit a lot of batteries out there. I'm sure it'll fit like a 3650, which if you guys have ever seen a 3650, it's massive. It's a huge battery. Yeah. So it might fit one of those. But yeah, the other thing I'm really looking forward to is the speed. This kayak has kind of been touted as like a really fast kayak. And if you guys got in the back of it, the hull, and then just, it looks like a bullet, like an arrow. So I think this one's it's hard to say, but with a 300 on the back, I want to say it's going to get up to the 6.5, 7 range, which is a lot. That's a lot. That's fast.
Yeah, that's fast for a lot of boat to move. But yeah, with that hull,
That's
And
cool.
here's what people got to understand. So people are like, "Oh, this thing's not stable." It's going to be a little more tippy, right? Because it has that performance hull, and so hopefully it doesn't come out of the gate and everyone's like, "Oh, it's tippy," and you got all these goofballs standing on their kayaks and trying to flip them over. Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, got a lot of questions. If you got a question for Greg, go ahead and throw that over here. Get 82 live right now, which is awesome. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Let's hop into catching bass in September. And so this is going to be interesting because September has a reputation for being one of the toughest months in bass fishing. And so I guess I'll pass this off to you, Greg. Do you agree with that? Yes, no, why or why not?
Well, I guess it depends on where you are in the country. And this is the biggest, I don't want to say it's a problem, but like whenever you see a video like saying the best baits for a month, or, you know, we're all going to get flooded with best fall baits soon because it's that time of year and everyone's going to make a fall bait video, which nothing wrong with it. Dang, dude, that's early fall.
Well, I come out, I actually drop my bait videos 4 or 5 days before the next month.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but my point being is just that kind of style is the same principle as this question. It just depends, man. Like, because the best baits in fall for one area ain't going to be the same for another area. And the same with fishing in the fall. September specifically, you know. But that said, I will say I personally love fishing in September. Here in Northern California, I think it's actually one of the better months to fish. I'm talking topwater, shallow topwater, walking baits. The one you actually showed earlier when you were showing that's in my box. I was just rigging up earlier. That's in my box. Big walking baits around grass. Those big largemouth are going to start to move up in September. Buzz baits, double buzz baits. I mean, the bite can be just insanely good. Punching, frogging. I think a lot of people hang with the punching and the frogging in September. That's opposite of what you should do. You should get your punch stuff out in September, October. Because, you know, you got all that grass still hanging around. Some of it's dying off, but the fish are still in that grass and fish are moving into that grass. So I think September is really it's a really good time to fish, but it's one of the most fun times to fish for me. Because, again, topwater, walking baits, buzz baits, punching, frogging. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So, again, it depends on where you are in the country, what bodies of water you're fishing, but I would say that if you have an area that you're fishing or anywhere, pond, lake, river, whatever, if you can find some shallow grass, you know, shallow 10 foot or less, and you throw a walking bait over there, something like that, and you just cover water, put your head down, you're going to get some big bites. Definitely.
Going to call them up from the deep. I love it.
Absolutely.
Seth, what about you? September down in Florida. It's a whole different ballgame down there.
So I'm practicing for a state championship, which is this weekend for the Bass Nation in Florida. We're on Okeechobee, and it is scorching. It is scorching.
What's the water temp? Because I'm at like 68 up here in Northeast.
Luckily, we got some rain this week, so it cooled it off a little bit. So it's about mid-80s. But still, it was up there in 90s. You know, it's scorching. And the other thing about Okeechobee, this is specific to Okeechobee, is that they lowered the water levels this year to help grass grow in the lake, to help filter and just do a lot of things for Lake Okeechobee that's been kind of choked out with high water levels for the last decade. And what that did was a lot of the areas where people flip and do a lot of their shallow water fishing are out of water. Like it's just it's grown up. So the fish have kind of funneled into deeper areas. Now the lake's going up about 1.5 to 2 feet since like May. So it's slowly rising again, and those fish are starting to sneak back in. But I don't want to spill too much for my state championship this weekend, but it's been tough. Like if you want to, typically you can fish shallow, you can catch them shallow and flip and do those things on Okeechobee right now. But if you're wanting to get a bigger bite, you're probably going to have to be out in deeper water. But in general, late summer in Florida is a tough bite. It's tough. Like the water's really hot. The fish are a little bit more lethargic down here. You can definitely do some top water, get some things going. You can flip some shade, things like that. But it's tougher in September. However, the end of this month, I'm going to Toledo Bend, fishing the Bassmaster Series out there. And I've been trying to do research on Toledo Bend in September. And there's been like no professional events on Toledo Bend in the fall. So finding data has been difficult for there. So if Greg wants to give me some pointers for Toledo Bend in the fall, I'd be all about that.
Hey,
well, wait. Can I even get information? This might be. I'm like DQ.
Oh, no info rule. What's going on? You within your?
How about we do Lake Fork instead, Greg?
I'll tell you something, Seth. I think we're okay because I think it's before. I think it's the week of the turn. Okay, I don't want to say and screw anything up, but I'll be competing against you at Toledo.
Yes, let's go. Oh, that people don't know that. That's new.
Yeah, I haven't said it. I mean, not that people would know.
That's a couple things.
If you're competing, Greg, we can both discuss, I think, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I was
also
thinking.
Stuff you find on the internet is fair game. So if I ask the question, right, is that fair game? I got so many like riding the line here on no info rule stuff.
Competitors can talk. Competitors can.
Yes.
But if you're not a competitor, you can't get information. I'm not sure what the window is, but
you can't request information. But if it's fair game online, you can listen to that. So if I like interviewed you, I'm just saying. I'm saying. Okay, talk about the weird stuff. Oh my gosh. Fish forward off road. Like, hey, you need to convince Greg to go kayak ocean fishing with lingcod with him. You do. I was up with Fish Forward off road. We were up in where'd I go again? Up in Canada. And he put me on the lingcod. Bro's just a fun dude. All right. Got a question here. Back to tactical. Colin Gordon. Greg, what was the toughest bait presentation for you to overcome from a kayak?
Good question. I never really loved jerk baiting from a kayak. I suck at jerk baiting, first of all. So I'm not a good jerk baiter, but I've always kind of found it. I find it tough, just really awkward in a kayak. I feel like you have to be standing.
Right.
But I mean, jerk baiting's been pretty tricky. Before I got like foot steering, like buzz baits were tough just because you want to control I personally want to control the kayak as best as I can. I use the foot steering more than the pedals nowadays. I just put the motor on like a slow speed and just maneuver the kayak with the foot pedals. Before, when you have to make micro adjustments with your rudder, you'd have to let off the reel, and your buzzbait would do all goofy things like that. So it used to be buzzbaits. Now with the foot pedals and just you can control everything with your legs. That's a lot easier. But I'd say jerk baiting.
What about you, Darren?
You and Seth do need to talk.
Yeah,
Seth
a lot of jerk baits.
Loves it. Wins a lot of tournaments with the jerk baits.
You're jerk baiter, okay?
Yeah,
he's highly proficient at utilizing FFS and jerk baiting. Highly proficient. One of the best.
Dude, I not because I'm against it. I just want to get that out there. Not because I'm against it, but I'm crossing my fingers. Toledo is not an FFS tournament because I do not have it, nor do I know how to use it. So I am praying to find some grass and take a big rod with a big weight and go flipping and maybe some top water. I don't know. Just
you don't know Seth. He uses FFS in like 3 feet of water and sees them.
Yeah, dude. I'll be screwed.
Unless they ban it from the kayak series for certain events. But I don't know what it's going to be. Like I said, I can't find any real like good information. So who knows? It might be 15 feet. It might be up shallow in grass. We'll find it. Yeah. What about you, Darren? What's your hardest bait that you had to learn fishing from a kayak?
Walking a spook from a kayak sitting down is a little difficult. I'll be doing it tomorrow, but I don't love. It's just so awkward. Like I have to stand. I don't always want to stand, or it's too windy, or the chop is too bad. So, but I'll be doing it tomorrow. And maybe if it was even, I was on the bank trying to walk a spook. Maybe I just haven't dialed in a walking bait yet. But sometimes I'm like, oh, sweet, I got it. And other times I'm like, no, don't got it at all. That thing's not walking like it needs to. Maybe I need to put a loop knot on. There's a variety of different things, but I'll find out tomorrow because I have one tied on my new casting rod. So I just got 5 new casting rods, the Icon series. So look forward to putting those to the test. It's been a minute.
You got the hat too, Darren.
I got the hat. I always tell companies, hey, if you're gonna send me some rods, I'm telling you what, if you send me, any merch, I'll be wearing it. It's how I get my clothes, by the way. I can afford clothes as a full-time creator. So I'm like, hey, everyone, please, we'll work for clothes over here.
You had to ask his Uncle John for that sweatshirt.
Bro, homie sent me this too. I love this guy. This guy's a solid dude. So you hear more about Uncle John because he's partnered up with the yak offs this year, what the kayak angler is doing. And so you hear more about him. And so it'd be good times. All right. So I had a question for you, Greg. You were talking about you had what you had tied on. I'm curious. Let's go a little like 3 or 4 layers deep. What's your favorite? What do you have tied on right now? And, you know, colors and brands. And do you like rattles? Do you like hard knockers in your walking baits and other baits you have tied on right now up there in Northern California?
Yeah, I've got so right now it's basically the same. It's a Jaywalker 110 millimeter, so it's good size. It's probably about the same size as that. Bone colored. I just like a bone color this time of year. Little feather in the back though. I don't. Did you just have a feather?
No feather in the back on this one.
The feather, got to get a feather, man. I'm telling you, the feather makes
feather, right?
I'm serious.
I throw a feather on some of my jerk baits, and it feels like it makes a difference sometimes.
No, I just think it's funny. Like I never know if it's actually like, oh, the feather's what does it, or if it's just the confidence 100%. That you have in the feather. That's why I was laughing. Not that you said it. It's just like, hey, I know what you're saying. That's like me with bait fuel. Like I don't use it very often, but the second I used it, I put it on my Yamatanuki and caught a 7-pounder in Ohio. I was like, oh man. Was it the bait fuel or was it what I thrown? I don't know. It's just kind of it's funny how fishermen can get. But anyway, the feather.
I just say like with that kind of stuff, it doesn't hurt it. You know, it's not gonna hurt it. It's not gonna make it worse. So if it helps, great. If not, whatever. But yeah, bone colored walking bait. I like, you know, something with some rattles, something to make commotion. I'll even actually change that out to like a chugging bait, like a shower blow, something like that.
Oh, you're pushing water on it.
Yeah, get a little bit more disturbance. I mean, I'm sticking to basically shad colors, natural colors. I think just that white, that bone pops in a lot of water clarities, especially clear water. And again, depending on where you're fishing, I mean, I feel like right now, this is the time of month where, yes, the fish have been eating bait out deep all over the place, but they're really starting to push it up shallow. The bait's getting in the grass. You probably even see in the early mornings or late evenings that bait start to flicker. So that's how you know that bait's really getting pushed up into the shallows. And that walking bait, there's just something about it that just gets those fish going. It looks, in theory, it looks sort of ridiculous compared to, you know, an actual bait fish, but there's just something about that motion that triggers something in a bass's brain to absolutely smash it. Yeah. I mean, the bite is, I feel like they hit it harder in the fall than they do any other time.
It's such a sloppy hit. Half the time they throw this thing in the air. Like it's like for whatever reason they can't freaking get their mouths around it. Unless your donkeys that you catch out there in freaking California. All of mine are smalls and they just freaking shoot that thing 15 feet. Like, dang it.
Yeah. It's amazing. I always say this. It's amazing. I can blow. I just like breathe on a treble hook bait and I'm stuck. Like, how does a fish not? Like,
100%.
Sticky.
How did I get a hook in it? It's wild. I don't understand the physics of that or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I've got that tied on. I've got what do I got? A first gen double buzz. It's their introvert. It's got like plastic wings on it. Makes a really unique sound. I know what
you're talking about right now. What's it called? I'm gonna bring it up.
It's called a first gen introvert double buzz bait. And it's got, you know, it's the same principle as the walking bait. I think a lot of the time, I mean, this goes for any bait out there, but one of the, you know, you got to get your bait within the strike zone. Sometimes the strike zone is 10 feet, sometimes it's 10 inches. And I feel like this time of year, the strike zone just expands a lot more. And when you have a bait on the surface, like a walking bait or a buzz bait, I mean, if you have a fish sitting in 8 foot of grass, I mean, they can get up there dang quick. Like they can come smoke that thing. They're fast and they'll come get it. So just the drawing power is huge with that top water style.
All right. I've never fished a double buzz bait and it looks like it has a swim jig on the back. That is crazy.
Give it a try. I use the white one or the bone one. The black probably does very well too. And it's got those little like clackers too. So it makes a little extra noise. Yeah.
Seth, have you ever fished one of these before?
No, man. That looks like it's from a different planet.
It really does. I love this. I'm like, okay, swim jig. Cool, I'm in. So anything on a swim jig looking thing and I'll throw it. But my gosh, that looks like wild. It's wild to me.
The nice thing too about this bite, from my experience, like we're saying this top water bite, walking bait, buzz bait bite, you can usually find out pretty quick if it's going to be something. Like, I mean, I'm not going to sit there for 8 hours and not get a bite and keep throwing it. You know what I mean? Like, usually if they're eating stuff like these topwaters, they'll let you know. So, but man, when it happens, when you find that bite this time of year, and again, this will probably extend all the way into October, maybe even November. It's just a blast. I mean, who doesn't love catching topwater fish?
Yeah, if I caught something on that, the world would know. I'd be posting it left, right, up and down. I got to check this out. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. I learned something today. I've been starting fishing the buzzbait with a toad on the back, but I've never had my hands on one of those before.
You know what's going to happen though. This is how it always goes. You get the bait. You go have a great day on that bait. You go on Tackle Warehouse later that night. You buy like 20. No. You get like 20, and then you go fishing and never catch another fish on it.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Is that just me? Okay.
That is next level. You got to catch 20 of them. I get it. Some guys are like, "Oh, I got to get these." So I don't. If they ever like discontinue them, I have them. But yeah, I hear you. All right, we got a lot of. Oh my gosh, a lot of questions. Any that you've been tracking on, Seth?
Well, because I got here late, I'm not signed in on my account, so I can't put any on the screen. But
I got you. You can just tell me. I got one here.
Yeah, Steven. There you go. There's one.
Ruben Cooler Lid. Do you have a trailer hook on the buzzbait? And what's the trailer that you use? So I'll go ahead and add a double question.
Yeah. So no trailer, but I do always use like a plastic trailer. This time of year, I'll use either two things. I'll use like a toad. Or I'll use like a little like paddle tail swim bait. I use the toad mainly if I'm going to skip it a lot because buzzbaits actually skip pretty well. And I feel like that toad, that like kind of flat profile will help skip the bait a little bit better. That's more for single buzzbaits, just FYI.
I was about to say, you're swinging that 9-pound piece of metal under it.
But this time of year with kind of that bait fish, theme we've been talking about, I'll throw a little paddle tail on the back. Nothing big. I just want something that'll just go past that skirt. I won't trim the skirt. I'll just keep that like a 3.5 inch Kitech or whatever, just so that tail's wagging right behind that skirt. Does it make a difference? I don't know. I think they're there for the crazy commotion in the profile, but again, I don't think it hurts. So that's usually what I go with.
I love it. Seth, you see us? We have 98 alive right now. Will we get to 100? I do not know.
No, go ahead. I can't see it. Just remind
you can't? We're at 96 live. Go and hit that like button. We'll get this party started. I got another question for you. I'm going to switch gears on you a little bit, Greg, unless you got other lures you want to share. So you're going to have the walking bait. Slobber knocker is going to be tied on. What's your favorite color for that?
Shad, like white, white. Anything shad colored. Maybe add a little green pumpkin in the mix there, here and there. But shad colors are a lot of my baits this time of year. Another bait, I don't know if this would technically be a sleeper, but I've really enjoyed over the past 3-4 years the A-Rig. Not just any A-Rig, the Mini Max A-Rig. So if you look up, I think it's a different company, but it's called Dark Horse Baits.
Okay.
And they make a Mini Max A-Rig. So it's a finesse A-Rig. I've been really enjoying that too. And it's just, it's different. I think it has the drawing power or more drawing power than say like a spinnerbait or a bladed jig. So, and you can throw that on like a 7.6 medium heavy. You don't need like a big A-Rig rod for it because it is smaller. But it's just something different. I've noticed not a lot of people around here seem to throw it that much. Not that I've seen. But last year I had a great year with it, just throwing it even in the places like the Delta. I don't know, Seth, if they eat A-Rigs in Florida, but like Delta is super shallow. I mean, you're fishing in 5 foot or less most of the time. Sorry. But A-Rig would be my other kind of go-to bait this time of year.
I always think about the A-Rig. I have 2 sitting up here, and I
never get around to it.
I've caught a fish on it before. But it's not. I'm just gonna have to spend like 2 days just tossing it and getting confidence with it, because it's like a pain to take with. Because I have like the bigger ones. It's a pain to like travel with and have it tied on, and it gets looped around everything on my kayak. And I'm like, you know what? This is probably just better left at home. You can use something else. But it seems to be really effective for the people that know what they're doing and use it pretty often. Yeah,
dude. Wait, do you have the Calco? I think they're Tackle Works now. Do you have the bait sacks by any chance?
I don't.
Okay, that's a great way to store A-Rigs or bigger baits. Tackle Works bait sacks. You fold your A-rig in them, they clip right to your rod. You're out of the way.
Goes right on the rod. That's what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. It's got a built-in clip. You can adjust the clip size for different diameter rods. But yeah, man, like when sometimes the fish will be shy too this time of year and they won't come out of the grass. They're still in the grass. And whether it's a bladed jig or an A-rig, just ripping it through the grass can be super effective too. At least for me.
Greg, if you're going out tomorrow, is there any bait that we have not yet talked about that you have hooked up?
Oh, so tomorrow I'm going to the California Delta.
You should after being in front of a computer for 8 hours a day for 6 days.
Yeah, I got
it. So treat yourself.
Dude, that's the one thing that saves me is after the editing, I get to go fishing. Then I got to edit again. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. But, Delta tomorrow. I got a square bill on. Square bill, it's another bait that I would say maybe going more into October when that grass really starts to die off and those rocky banks or those banks, get a little bit more bare and you can actually fish, a square bill. Mm-hmm. What else? I mean, I've got 10 rods. Always got to bring a worm with you. And, I'm not too shy or proud to say, gotta have a worm. Just if the bite's tough, let's get the worm out. Why not? I want to get bit here. What else?
Oh yeah, no shame. Freaking wacky worm or Nico or something along that line.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I don't get why people think it's a bad thing to finesse fish.
I love it. I love when people are like, "Oh, I'll never use a Ned rig." It's like, bro, awesome.
You got it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Stay off my fish.
Dude, one of my favorite winter baits nowadays is not a Ned rig, but the Ned jig. It's a Kitech M2 finesse football jig. It's just a 1/2 ounce. And I just take like a little Lil General, like it's a TRD basically, and just put that on as a trailer. And I'm sure the Ned would get the same bites, but I just like the feel of that 1/2 ounce of tungsten working through the rock. You can fish a little deeper. You can really feel the contour of the bottom. And man, that thing gets thumped in the winter. I know we're not talking about winter, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah, 100%. We did hit 100 about a minute ago. Come on, 100 live. That's like a goal. I've been watching it. It's like 97, 98, 97, 99. We finally hit 100. All right. I got a little side quest going over here. Sorry, guys. Colin B. Basson. Hey, won my first tournament ever on the Wacky Worm this year. Get some, Colin. Get some. All right.
Dude. I won a ton of money on a Wacky Worm. A Dark Horse tackle. Magnum Baits from Dark Horse Tackle. Reg stick, essentially just a Senko style, but yeah, I mean it's really it's a simple and extremely effective, especially if you put it near them.
Yeah, that'll never not work. That's just always gonna work.
Always. And Metal Jones, who's one of the owners of Dark Horse Tackle, Seth, we're low on Dark Horse reg sticks. Thought you should know. So calm down. Stop talking about them because they don't have anywhere to sell.
Might be sold out.
Yeah, right.
After this weekend, they might be sold out again.
Oh yeah, no, right.
I'm gonna go into details.
I'm getting over
There's
here.
a lot of comments over here.
There's a lot of comments. I'm trying to figure this out. Did Stinky River Tom drop some cash over here?
Yeah,
I can be bought. I always tell people I could be bought. I will stop the show for 99 cents to answer your question if you throw cash my way. Wendell, you're a huge inspiration to get me on the kayak and starting to record. Awesome. Love it. Any tips for someone new to this old YouTube thing? Oh my gosh. I've actually done shows on this. I don't want to go too deep into it because we're like in the September bass fishing thing, but I've done shows specifically on, so you want to be a YouTuber. That's a whole nother realm of conversation. So we got to talk sometime, Stinky River. We will definitely do that. Thank you so much for the support there. Seth, any questions that you've seen that I might have missed? Because they're coming in hot.
Let's see here. Someone wanted to know if you are, where's that at? Sponsored by anyone for baits, Greg. Is there anyone that backs you?
I hope so. 12 years in the biz.
Got his first one.
Yeah.
Berkeley. I got Berkeley baits and then first gen. So first gen stuff.
Nice. Which was that Buzzbait?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't even seen those before.
Yeah, they're it's a fun bite. I've had some really good days on it. So, I mean, I can back it up too, because literally every fishing trip is a video, no matter how good or bad I do. But man, I had some really good fall days last year, September, October, with a double buzz. And it was the plastic one. I don't know. They've got the other one, which is like metal or something or whatever. So it's a different noise, but it's just different. It's unique. I don't know. It's probably not for everyone, but there's a lot of pressure out here in California. You think there's a ton of places to fish. There's not really. I mean, the Delta is huge. It's expansive. The Delta is very fickle. But other than the Delta, I mean, we've got Clear Lake. We've got Highland reservoirs spread out, but it's not that much. And there's a lot of, anglers out here. So there's a lot of pressure. And you'll hear it from old timers. Like when the Chapo came out, the Whopper Plopper was such a big deal when the Whopper Plopper came out. Fish stopped biting. It just wasn't as good. But when the Chapo came out, just a different, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Berkeley guy, but just it was a different noise. Everyone switched to the Chapo and it was just getting more bites. And I think when you have baits that are a little bit different, I mean, same bait, but baits like a buzz bait like this Introvert that offers a different noise, it's just something the fish haven't seen. And with highly pressured areas, like sometimes that can be the difference in, catching them or not catching them. So I don't know how many people use it out here, but it doesn't sound like anything else I've seen out there buzz bait wise. So,
and I think that's a key. I think a lot of people are like, oh, the fish haven't seen it before. I don't think that is as much as the fish haven't felt it and heard it before, right? These different frequencies. If you go into knowing bass, you start reading that. Frequency is key.
Knowing bass, you've read it?
I've got some excerpts that I've been reading through, and I've kind of read some articles, and I know that the frequency. That's why it makes like jackhammers and certain bladed jigs work better than others because of the frequency of how it chirps through the water. It's not it just looks different. It's putting off a different frequency, and that's why when you come out with a new one, it's either really really good or just okay. It's not necessarily because it's a different color. It's because it's thumping. It's vibrating differently, and you're like, oh wait a second, that's different.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a great book. I need to send you my copy, Darren.
Yeah, you do.
At some point.
Johnny Bennett, thank you. Give me a super sticker. I don't think I've actually received a super sticker before. So you were the first, Johnny. 111 episodes, first super sticker. Anybody know what a super sticker is? Let me know. But I'm grateful. I really don't know what it is. I think it's just like, hey man, I got you, which I appreciate. All right. What else have we got here?
We got Greg, slobber knocker or copperhead?
He is contractually obligated to say slobber.
Hey, they're both. Okay. So I haven't thrown a copperhead, but I know the copperhead catches fish. It has like these two little BBs on the front that offers a different noise when that blade hits it. The first thing that came to mind was Damian Tao catching like a 9-pounder last year on the copperhead. But again, it's just the difference in like what Darren was saying, the frequency, the noise. I mean, they're all different I used to use the Z-Man custom chatterbaits a lot. Now I use slobber knockers. I had a rough go at first with the slobber knocker because they seem to stop biting bladed jigs around here. I don't know if it's because everyone was throwing them, but I finally, actually last year, started getting some really good bites on a slobber knocker. Actually, at Clear Lake, I just caught a pretty big fish on it.
8.5.
It was. I didn't weigh it. It was 23 inches though. It was good size.
That's pushing 7 to 8 for sure. Was it chunky?
Yeah, it was pretty fat. But it was Clear Lake though. Clear Lake's kind of like, you got to put an asterisk next to any fish you catch on Clear Lake because they're all freaking huge. But dude, whether you're sponsored or not, like baits that you're confident in, if you have confidence, I mean, throw it. Like you don't have to like get something because someone says it's good. Like throw what you want to throw. Like figure it out yourself. If you're feeling it, you're digging it, you're catching fish, then shoot, just keep throwing it.
Yeah, I like it. I had a question here for you. Let me see. Where is it at? Seth, do you have one?
No, go ahead.
All right. So, in your opinion, Greg and Seth, I'm asking you both a question. How does weather, especially that first cold night, we're starting to get into some cold nights, but we're going to get into like really like where it starts to frost, cold nights, immediately change the bite. Anything that you've noticed in your tenure of fishing from that green kayak your mom got you from Amazon to today?
You want to go first, or you want to go first, Seth?
You're the guest.
Great, go ahead.
First.
I'll just say exactly what he said.
I'm going to keep it super simple. So we're not quite there in California. In California, we're not quite there yet with the super cold nights. A little frost on the grass in the morning. But I know what you're saying. When it gets to that point, I'll actually, biggest tip, maybe my best tip ever.
Ooh, you've heard it here, folks.
Sleep in, have some coffee that day, and I won't go out till like 10 or 11 a.m., but I will stay until dark because that evening bite tends to be better when you get those super cold nights. I mean, it makes sense. You're letting it warm up throughout the day. The fish are a little lethargic in the morning, a little more active in the evening. So that is kind of my biggest change in my fishing habit or style when those cold nights arrive. I will fish later in the morning till the evening.
No need to freeze your butt off, folks. You heard it here first from Greg. Seth, what do you got?
Man, you just stay home in Florida when it gets cold, pretty much. When the Florida bass strain, man, they're tough when it gets cold. They do make it difficult, especially those first couple cold fronts. As we get, I know we're talking about summer and the fall, but as we get to for most of the country, it's going to be winter still, but like January. So they'll start spawning on Lake Okeechobee here pretty soon in like November on parts of the lake. But like in January in the state of Florida in general, when you have like really cold, and it happened last year on the Kissimmee event for Bassmaster Kayak, when you have like unseasonably cold for a length of time, like a week or two, and it's really cold, and then you have it flip to warmth, man, it just brings up the bass in spawning mode like unlike you've ever seen. Just a huge, massive push of bass that come shallow. You can catch some giant bags. Like they've had like a 42-pound bag in the January event for Bassmaster on Toho, which is like one of the largest bags of all time. And that was because there was a long cold front with a warm deal. So the cold in Florida in general is not good for our bass as far as catching them. It makes things really difficult, especially because the lakes aren't very, very deep. So they feel the cold in the shallow water for the most part, and they get pretty lethargic. So just slow it down is what I typically do.
Yeah.
I like it. So for those of you looking to the future, all right, we're talking about September, and that's great. But walk me through what's going through your head, Greg, when you move into October and November. What's the water temps looking like? What are the bass doing? What's going through your mind as far as what's going in and out of your kayak when it comes to rods and reels and lures?
Yeah. So when that time comes, it kind of depends. It depends on what the weather decides to do in California, because it could be anything. But when it starts to really transition, feel like a true fall, maybe even late fall, early winter, doing the one technique I don't like doing, jerk baiting, can be very effective. I'm downsizing my line a lot. I'm finesse fishing a lot more. I'm throwing a lot more worms, wacky worms, drop shots like that. The finesse jig will come out to play. I'm not getting away from areas with grass. I'll still look in the grass just in case there's some stragglers, but I'm kind of fishing the areas adjacent to the grass. So like the deeper weed lines, more main lake stuff, points, and targeting whatever structure I see there with whatever bait fits at the time. So again, big thing for me is I am downsizing line, downsizing baits too, in theory. Though again, it's a tricky time too, because you could still have fish feeding on bait, and the A-rig stuff like that might still play. And it usually does if you can find those fish. A-rig usually plays throughout the entire winter, and I think in most places. But that in general is my thinking as far as that transition. We're really downsizing.
All right.
Yeah, the jerkbait worked for us, Darren, last fall in Gunnersville.
It does. And I'm going down nationals in November, so we'll see what we'll be doing playing, because that was October last year. The year before I went down to Gunnersville, it was November. And so I picked them up both times. It was just they're in completely different places. It was wild.
It's interesting too with that jerkbait. Like it's kind of hard to explain to someone why a jerkbait works. It truly is the mood of the fish. Like I don't know if you guys can actually probably see it on like forward facing sonar, but like shallow places like the Delta where the jerkbait starts to play in like October, November, I go in, super shallow water, shallowish water. It's clear so I can see the fish. And, you can see, you zoom a weighted jig by their head or crankbait by their head, they ain't going to touch it. But it's that jerkbait that kind of gets them just to lift and kind of look at it. When you snap it, that's when they grab it. Like it's that weird mood they're in. They're feeling the cold weather. They're not as antsy, not as, hungry or, seemingly hungry. So it's like that trigger. It's like that weird thing in the bass's brain that just triggers them. So if you're wondering why a jerkbait works, it's kind of cool to see it in person, like just the way a fish actually reacts to a bait, specifically a jerkbait, when that water temp starts to hover around that 65 area.
Yeah. And what I've learned about the jerkbait is you could easily not love it really fast if you're using the wrong rod. And so a lot of times you're like, oh, I only have this rod and it happens to be a 7.2 or a 7.3 or a 7.4. You'd be like, this isn't fun at all. Because it's so freaking long. I mean, I'm throwing a jerkbait at top water on a 6.8 or a 6.9. And so that's going to make a whole lot of difference when it comes to controlling that and popping it and jerking it and actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So keep that in mind if you've struggled with the jerkbait in the past and you're like, hey, I don't know what the issue was, and you're using a longer rod. I've learned that lesson the hard way in years past. Yeah. I didn't even bring my jerkbait rod, and Seth's like, hey, that's all they're hitting. I was like, freaking crap. Yeah. And my wrist about fell off. So if you have a question for Greg, we're getting ready to land this plane here a little bit. Go ahead and throw that question in the side, and we will get to those in just a minute. I got another question for you. Outside of the jerkbait, Greg, when it comes to, I teach something called the unconfidence lure. Always have a bait with you. And sometimes it's the only bait you have. Like, I'm going to force myself to grow as an angler and increase and expand my arsenal just in case, especially just to grow instead of throwing the wacky around the rest of your life in the same places. Just grow, because it's so much fun to catch a bass on a lure that you've never caught a bass on before. It's even more fun if you find a lure and then you catch a bass on a found lure. However, outside of the jerkbait, what would you say is one of your unconfidence lures that you're like, hey, I have it rigged up and it drives me crazy because you haven't figured it out yet?
Well, I would say swim baits for sure. Does that count? Can I say swim baits? Like big swim
whatever
baits.
You want.
Big swim baits, like 8 to 10 inch swim baits, depths 250s, 8-inch glides. I know it's a glide is whatever. I'm gonna call it a swim bait.
Yeah.
So big baits, which is funny because it's a thing out here in California, of course. But that's just one thing I haven't put in the time. I can just say honestly, it's my fault. I'm not good with them because I just don't put in the time. And that's a bait in particular that you need to just dedicate, like, not just a day, like multiple days, if not weeks, throwing if you want to have any success at all. Because those are 1, 2, 3 fish bites a day at best. Like an epic day, you might get 3 bites, and you might not land any one of them. But the potential for it to be a really big one is a lot higher percentage than, if you're catching fish on a worm all day. So that's definitely the one bait that I'd love to get better at, just feel more confident in. And that's really all it takes for not just me, but probably a lot of people to get confidence is catch fish on it. Just catch fish. Start to, feel a fish eat that bait, and you'll start to feel your confidence growing. You'll throw it more and you'll catch more fish, and so on and so forth. But my plan, I always say this every winter, and maybe I'll regret saying this, but I do want to try to get better at swim baiting in the winter. That's when they typically start putting the trout in these lakes, and this is when fish get freaking huge. Like I've listened to some folks that talk about these things out here. Like when they started replanting again in certain bodies of water, it didn't take years. It took months for these fish to turn from 4 pounds to like 8 pounds.
Wow. There's much.
Trout they're just ridiculous. I mean, it's just so much protein. They eat trout. It's wild. So it is a good time to throw swim baits in the winter here. So will I do it? I don't know. You'll see.
Do you have your trout swim baits all dialed? You already have them, or you need to go get them?
I got them. I have them. Poor dude. I didn't even buy it. Some awesome dude years ago sent me a depths 250, and I've still got it tied on to the same rod. And I get a wild hair every so often. I'll take it out and I'll sling it for a bit, maybe get a follower or two, but I haven't hooked up on it yet. But
how much does a Depths 250 cost? Some of those some of these guys get some of these swim baits, like, dang,
yeah,
I'd be freaking breaking out the scuba diving gear if I got.
I think it's at least a couple hundred. I want to say it's more than I've ever spent on a bait or have spent on a bait. But the Huddlestons are kind of more the winner deal here, like the bottom baits. You're going to throw a big 8-inch Hud, just slow. They're still expensive.
Gosh.
Aaron's like 100 braid.
Hundreds. Yeah, 150-pound braid.
The Huddlestons are a little bit more affordable. But I think the thing is, and I mean, I don't know if there's any swim baiters in here or watching, but in the wintertime, especially with like the Huddleston fishing, I mean, basically what you do is you throw it out there, you let it sink all the way to the bottom, and then you just do this for the next 5 minutes. Just
punch me in the face.
So hard to do for someone like me who's just fishing usually really fast. Yeah, it's really tough for me to do, and especially when it's not getting bit, which you're not going to get a lot of bites, like I said. But maybe I'll break out the swim baits content this winter and
do it. It's so slow.
It is slow.
So slow. And if you're a pedal drive kayaker like Greg, like you, and I don't know about you, I'll speak for myself. I just always like being on the move. I haven't carried an anchor in years because I'm not going to be in that spot very often. If I am, I'll just kind of reposition myself. But the idea of sitting in one spot and just slowly dragging a swim bait,
it's tough
for 5 minutes and not getting a bite.
Yeah, but people, I mean, and then you got to know where to throw it too, because like in the wintertime, the fish are, they're not as spread out. So you got to find those high percentage areas. And I mean, I don't know much about it, but I know there's timing too. Like you might hit a point 4 or 5 different times during the day because the fish may or may not move up on it at one of those times. So it's very tricky with timing as well. But the guys that are good at it, the guys that have a lot of confidence in it out here, they catch the double digits. They catch the big ones. So that's the reward.
I'm starting to think, maybe I'm thinking about it as a content creator as well, because I'm pretty sure and not a single person out there want to watch me drag a bait for 30 yards over a period of 5 minutes. That is terrible content. And so it's the top water blow-ups. It's the action. That's the stuff I want to watch. And I would imagine a lot of people want to watch. I don't know.
Absolutely.
We'll see. Right. Seth, you ever do the big swim bait thing?
Man, I have a couple clutch glide baits, and they do pull fish, like big ones. The big fish, they will follow, but I haven't figured out how to get them to commit at a high percentage. So I'll, like, when I can't catch a big one or sitting on a piling or something like that, throw things by it. They show a little bit of attention, but if you throw like a big glide bait, they will follow that thing the whole way to your boat or kayak. But I haven't figured out like how to get them to commit at like a high percentage. I'll get one every once in a while, but most of the time they're just like interested. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm considering it. For this weekend, I'm considering it because I'm gonna be targeting some big fish. But I'm like, do I want to throw that at them, or do I want to just throw something in their face that's tinier and give it a couple quick jerks to get a reaction bite out of them? I don't know. So it's actually in consideration for this weekend for me, but I don't have a lot of confidence. And I think you lose a lot too because there's a lot of leverage when they're shaking their head. So that's
a lot of weight for them to throw around.
Yeah. So, that's an unconfidence bait for me for sure. I want to like it because I think it's super cool. But another problem I have is when I cast it out, it sounds like I'm dropping like a 10-pound weight in the water. Like dang, dude.
You gotta like break it, and that's not the easiest thing to do half the time. I love it. All right, I got a few questions here coming in. I've asked, and you guys, those listening in, have some here. Kenneth Overfelt. Hey, random question. Got into bass fishing. Have a really nice lake nearby, but it's littered with turtles everywhere. Doesn't seem to get any bites or action. Are turtles a bad sign?
If you hook one.
It depends. Are you talking snapping turtles, like racers? What are we talking about here? I've never heard anything when it comes to if it's littered with turtles. I mean, it's bad for bass fishing. Have you guys ever heard anything like that?
No. You know what's the funny thing is, I actually kind of see. I don't know how many turtles we're talking here. We talking like an infestation.
How many turtles we talking about here?
Yeah. Actually, so kind of like a funny thing is so in the Delta, actually a lot of places, Delta in particular, there's a lot of turtles just everywhere. You see them on the bank, whatever. Mainly they're sitting up on like a tree branch that's sticking out of the water. Yeah. But I always kind of utilize that. They always freak out and jump in though. I always look at turtles on a bank to see if it's been hit. Because if the turtles are still up on the rocks or the bank, then nobody's fished that stretch. So I'm like, oh, that bank hasn't been touched over there. The turtles are still up on the logs. So I'll go.
It takes them 30 to 40 minutes to kind of recharge if you get back on that log if they're sunbathing. Typically,
you don't have to get close. At least out here, you don't have to get close. Well, most places, you don't have to get close to them for them to just hop in the water. So I use turtles as a sign to see whether an area's been fished or not.
There you go, Kenneth. Little trick of the trade here from Greg. All right, Per Kerr. It's got another question for you. Massive Greg Blanchard fan. How often does Greg get skunked? It's been tough fishing all summer for me in central Indiana.
I'll
go with flex, Greg. Go ahead and flex. I know you want to.
Never.
No, dude, I definitely get skunked, man. I'm just trying to think when the last time.
He's flexing already.
Mm-hmm. I get skunked all the time. I just can't remember the last time. 2021, 22, maybe.
I've had days like where I think it was actually maybe a couple of years ago. I went like 4 trips out on the Delta in January. That's also a losing formula. It's probably like Florida with a cold front, but it was like brutal. I didn't get a single bite all 4 trips. It was In-N-Out Burger. I mean, it was crazy bad. But we have good fisheries around here as far as like catching fish. I think Indiana's probably, I know there's some really tough fisheries around there. I don't know how many places you have to fish, and it can definitely be trickier, in my opinion, compared to California, where you can at least catch dinks, go out of the Delta, throw a drop shot, you're going to catch some dinks. But no, I still get skunked. I haven't gone a year, I don't think ever in the 12 years of YouTube, I've never gone a year without a skunk. So I've always skunked every year. So it's part of the game.
That's interesting. When I first started the content creating thing, it was always stressful because I wasn't like super great. I was just documenting my journey at first, and I was like, crap, am I going to be able to do content if I go out and get skunked on a regular basis? And then over time, you actually start to dial it in. You become smarter, a more knowledgeable angler. You grow in your skill set, and it's highly unlikely. I'll get skunked early in the season because I go out super early, like ice off on, and I'll get skunked a little bit there. But once you hit like spring, summer, fall, I typically won't until I get closer into the cold. But I remember having the thought like, crap, I used to happen often early in my career before I start honing the trade craft.
I've had multiple days just in the last 2 weeks that I've been skunked.
Well, you were testing.
You're right. It's a little bit different.
It's different.
I'm eliminating water. So like I guess that just is to everyone's point. Like if you're getting skunked, it might just be in not a productive area of the body of water you're in. But, I'm eliminating water. So I'm going up rivers or the fish in the rivers right now. And I'm looking around and I'm casting, I'm trying to catch some in the rivers. And if I'm not, I'm like, all right, cross the river off for the event. Then I go up shallow in these certain areas and, hit those areas. And if I'm not catching, I'm like, all right, well, the fish aren't super shallow. They're not in rivers. So kind of dials you into where you want to be. Yeah. But you'll get it. Throwing a Senko around, like a wacky rig Senko, and eventually you'll start catching some. Or what's that bait you use, Darren? The
Yamatanuki. Yeah,
Yamatanuki.
That's Insta fish. That's what they should call it. I can't tell you how many people, if I post like a fish with a Yamatanuki sticking out of its mouth, people are like, oh yeah, man, you need to stop talking about that. It's like people are writing me DMs like, oh man, I used to get skunked. It's that stupid bait. It only lasts like 1 or 2 fish, but I'm telling you what. In fact, Dark Horse Tackle just sent me some funky thing. Check this out. Called the Thing. It's like a Yamatanuki, and it's got like a little crown at the top of it. So I might take this out tomorrow because I'm out of Yamatanukis because they don't last that long. And I would take this out of the package and show you. I will.
How do you rig them, Darren? Like how do you rig your? I'm sure you have videos. Texas rig,
5/0 EWG, and just
Texas.
Run it. Texas style. Look at that. I could smell it from here. It's like garlic. It's like that garlic stuff.
Oh, I love that. I love
it smells so bad. My fingers stink so bad. You could put it on a screw lock. If it's anything like the Yamatanukis, a lot of times it'll rip out on the top here. And so I like to put an O-ring around it and then run the 5/0 EWG through. You can put a screw lock, which you probably get some more bites out of it before it tears. But this doesn't feel as salty as the Yamamoto baits. This might last a little longer, but it's kind of like the tail. Oh, I'm gonna gag. That you know what I'm talking about. You guys all smelled it before. Oh, it smells. Oh gosh, it stinks so bad. Which I guess might be good. I don't know. All right, I got a question from Utopia Outdoorsman. I think it's for Greg. Set it out to Greg and Seth. What do you think about spy baits for September?
Yeah, I have one on my dashboard that just sits there as like an ornament. I never use it.
So Seth uses them as Christmas tree ornaments.
Yeah, that's Greg. Greg, go ahead, man.
Honestly, so I'm kind of like Seth. I don't really use them much. The only time I've really had some good success or fair success on them is like post-spawn highland reservoirs. So you're like your deeper fisheries. Typically for us, there'll be spotted bass out there. Once those fish are done spawning, they'll kind of move out, and they'll chase bait. And I think the spy bait, but when they're kind of in that mood, it's like a lot of stuff works. Like you can throw a lot of stuff. Then if they see a spy bait, they're going to eat it. But in the fall, that might be interesting. It's weird. Sometimes I'll be in the garage. I'll be rigging up for a day of fishing, and depending on where I go, and then I'll kind of like look at a box or a bait. I'll be like, you know what, maybe I'll try that tomorrow, and maybe I'll see the spy bait one of these days this fall, and maybe it'll work. I don't know, but
I look at a spy bait and I'm like, there are 5 or 6 other lures that I'd rather throw over that. I never get to it. I have some. I was like, you look so dumb. I will not be throwing you today, and I have all the time in the world to throw them now, and so I still don't. I got a question here from Joe Wilcox for Greg. Greg, do you still work in the medical field with PT, or do you YouTube full time?
So full-time content for sure. I still do work as a PT when I can. Obviously, time is the biggest issue now, so I don't have a full-time job or anything, but I work PRN is needed in certain. Got a few buildings I work at still. I wish I could work more, because the funny thing about all this job profession stuff is I really enjoyed that job. I still do. So I just can't do it as much. But I still work, still keep my license active. You never know. YouTube, I mean, if it shuts down tomorrow, then I guess I got a job in the medical field as a PT. My mom would probably kill me too if I quit my PT gig and wasted 7 years of college and tuition. That would probably be a big waste.
To be a full-time content creator.
Yeah,
I think she primarily 90% of what you do, right?
Yeah. And again, it's time. Maybe next year, if I can hire like someone to help me edit some of the videos, which we already kind of talked about, that's always a tough trade-off. But if I had more time, I would totally do more PT work. There's actually a huge need out here in the East Bay. Like I get a text every day if I can come in for hours, and I'm like, sorry, I can't.
Sorry,
that's the 99th time I've told you, but just keep texting me. It's okay. Because one of these days I'll be able to do it.
You need to tell them, sorry, I only keep my license because my mom makes me. I'll be fishing. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Bradley had the question, Darren, if you like the Yamatanuki, have you tried the fat Ica? I have not. I don't even know what you're talking about. I guess I need to go check that out. Fat Ica. And they just came out the fuzzy, surprise, surprise, Yamatanuki. Have yet to try that out as well. All right, we're going to land this plane here. Those are all the questions coming in live. Still at 100 right now. 100 live. And if you were just joining for the first time all night, please help me out. Hit that like button here over on YouTube. Wendell Fishing. We'll get this a little extra yardage post when it's over. So that'll be a good time. All right. Well, Greg, freaking awesome having you on. I've had a good time. But walk us through what does 2026 look like for Greg Blanchard? Is there anything like, hey, I'm going to try something a little different with content. I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to go travel all 50 states. What is it you're like that you've been leaning towards? You're like, hey, this is what you're used to from me. and this is a little razzle dazzle I'm going to be putting on it for 2026.
Oh man, that's a great question.
Getting in the hammer, we know that.
Yeah, hammer. There'll be new kayaks for sure. The new kayak for sure. I do plan ahead quite a bit. Like I could honestly, you could tell me anywhere from now till the end of 2025, and I could probably tell you what I have to do that day, if I have to do anything. But as far as like content and predicting like the future for what I'm going to post, I kind of more or less just go with the flow. I don't deviate too much, as you guys can probably tell if you've seen my content. Like the other video from the other day, that was like way different. That was like something totally different than what I usually post. But this fall I've got my my good buddy Obedy Williams. We're gonna resume our OG challenge series. So it's kind of like a series we did last year, where me and O take the kayaks out. I put a chesty on him, chesty on me, and we kind of see what we can get for our best 5. Try different bodies of water and mix it up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that. Next year, though, man, I want to keep fishing tournaments. I still love tournaments.
Okay.
I get my butt kicked a lot more nowadays, but there's just so many good anglers out there. It was bound to happen. It's super competitive out here, as I'm sure it is with you guys out there. But more tournaments. I always make the New York trip. New York is where I'm from, like I told you guys.
Okay.
I got back there. Always going to go to New York, cherry pick the best time of the year to go fish in New York in May, June, catch big largemouth, catch big smallmouth.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I didn't really get a ton of this year was the team tournaments. We have a new team tournament series out here for Yakabass.
Okay.
And I did it with my buddy Mike. We actually have one coming up this Saturday. So I hope that me and Mike can do more team tournaments together. I can throw a chesty on him. He's hilarious. He's a goofball. Long answer or short answer, kind of the same stuff, but I will not hesitate to, do some travel, maybe go back to Texas. I'm still getting over all the barbecue I ate this past May because it was insane. But I think Texas would be fun. Maybe Florida. I always say Florida, but it's just, timing and all that.
Seth's down there and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you were at ICAST. Yeah. You could have bookended a little bit of.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hot though. My gosh.
Oh, yeah. Probably ICAST again, but yeah, I mean, really a lot of the same stuff, and I'll mix it up here and there with some trips, but keeping it pretty much the same.
I love it. Consistency. You're going to get from Greg Blanchard, and he's going to keep delivering on that. It's working for you, brother. You don't mess up with something that's working. It's interesting. I'm actually going to New York next week. So I'll be traveling up next after the show on Wednesday. I'm going to go fish with Bailey Eichbrett. You guys know I had him on the show. I know. Oh, yeah. So it's hammer time. He's like, what do you want to fish? Smallies or largemouths? So I was like, yes, please. I know on both.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're with Bailey, I'm sure you're going to be around a bunch of big fish. So I'm a little jealous.
Look forward to it, and so I'm excited about that. He's like, "Hey, we need to." He's not that far away from me in Buffalo. It's only a few hour drive for me. And I was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm one of the guys that goes sun up to sundown. Hey, if you want to let's fish all night, let's do that too." He's like, "Perfect." I was like, "Yeah, I love it. I love it." Well, folks. Dude. Greg, thankful for you. Seth, always thankful for you as well. But if you liked this show and you're listening in on the podcast, please rate it. I haven't asked a lot of people to do this, but imagining if you are making it all the way to the end, please go to Apple Podcasts, give it a rating, write something there. I'd appreciate that. Hit that like button. Head over to Greg Blanchard if you have not yet done so. Watch his latest video in the last 12 years. You'll basically get to know him. You guys will be best friends. It'll be awesome. Hit the subscribe button over there. Seth is over here working to live the dream too. Head over to SoFlo. Is it SoFlo Taylor?
Yeah, but you don't need to go there right now, guys.
No, you need to go over there.
Yeah, it's SoFlo Taylor, but just go to Greg's for now, or go to mine first and then Greg's. That's probably a better way to do it. So, there's not much out there.
I love it. I love it. I think we got Brandon Waugh next week, next Wednesday. So thank you all for chiming in. This was a good show, and I will see you next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. And can't forget, thank you so much, Dark Horse Tackle, for bringing this show to you. And I just love getting my box. So if you're interested in getting a awesome box of baits every month. Check it out. Or they actually have a bait store, which I actually think is more popular than their bait subscription. And so if you heard some of these baits that Seth uses and some of the things I talk about, you can go there and a la carte, darkhorsetackle.com. Y'all have a good one.